To see life as a forest experience and a thing that mainly happens around a sacred tree is probably the most ancient concept in the whole world. But not because we are half monkeys, as modern science likes to tell us, but because that is deeply related to the ancient myth of the emerging of the first humanity, the children of the forest, the Aryan white people, from the axial, primordial, ancient tree, from which all life emerged, as other myths, as the Christian Genesis also tell us. That myth comes to us through the Celtic tribes, the ancient culture of the Celts, which is deeply rooted in the beautiful American ethnicity. Let's find something more about the Celts and know how their special configuration, their special culture have shaped our actual spirituality, and also how we see the world and how we can discover our true nature in the nature worship. Let's find out. Welcome. Hi fellas, how are you doing? This is Adrian, this time talking from Georgia State. Wonderful place, Crook River State Park. Trying to grill some vegetables with this animal of power. It's a Patronus pill I just summoned and it's taking a little nap. Today I would very much like to talk about the Druidic culture of the Celts, the inhabitants of the west fringe of Europe that we can see of course, in the American ethnicity through the Irish and the British, and established a very well-defined culture in the west of the world, keeping together peoples like the ancient Gaelic, the Irish, the Brits, the ancient French, the Gauls, and the people from Belgium, and of course the people of the west of Spain, of the Galicia region, Galicia. All these people, very well known for their red hair or the blonde hair, with all this wonderful culture around the secrets of nature, and from which we got wonderful traditions as Halloween or Samhain. All these people were destined to hold the ancient mystery of the unity of the center of the world in the last age of our cycle, Pisces age. That's why this very moment, this very age is defined by the mixture of the first race, the Aryan race, the white race, and the last race, the red people, the descendants of Atlantis, which emerged during the lunar age, which many people call the Silver Age. We already know that in the Neolithic, all the Indo-European tribes, the Kurgan, conquered the red people of Europe and established a Stone Age, a megalithic era in the west of Europe, and then hold as a treasure the beautiful Celtic tradition. This tradition states that all the cosmos can be represented as a sacred tree and a forest that happens around it. This is very important because the center worship, the cult of the spirit, which is in the center of the world, implies that a center is trying to irradiate its influence to the periphery. Well, my guide animal my spiritual totemic animal is trying to say hello, so let's welcome him. I'm sure he's about to jump and chase some squirrels, so don't worry. The Celts established this tradition that I'm about to explain, that a center is holding a periphery around. And this implies that in the periphery, symbolic of our universe, in its obscurity, if we use the intellect from our heart, from our center, we can always connect with that which is important. Like in the Sephirotic tree of the Kabbalistic tradition, where Keter, of the Neptune planet, holds the universe from above and in the center, like in the Christmas tree. Our Christmas tradition comes directly from the Druidic and Celtic worship of the sacred tree in the center of the world. And everything that happens around, all the dynasties, all the political events, all can connect with the center. If the Dharma, the law of the world, is being observed, is really happening in the world. Of this ancient cult to the center, in the context of a forest, of a big obscure periphery, we only hold today two things: the sacred cross, symbolized, which we have just said, and the nature worship. In this nature worship, the Druid always tried to restore the natural balance of the world. Every Druid was a politician, was a mage, was a healer. Every profession under the Druid system, the Druidic culture, tried to do his best to have an experience the same as the light, as the central light of the world, to restore the order from the center point of the world. All this can also be explained in reference to the mystery of how to solve the enigma of duality. Everything happening in the periphery is ruled by duality and is constantly trying to restore the spirit of the center. That's why the ancient European culture also worshipping the circle as a very important symbol. A circle which has in the center a sacred cross, like in the Celtic cross. Though we are living a circular experience, we can only find the center using the intellect of our very heart. In the 13th century, the Matter of Britain, or the cycle of the Grail, shows us how there's an ancient worship to the cycle, to the circle. And in the context of that circle, some nights, 12 sacred nights, like the 12 apostles or the 12 months of the year, try to express the wholeness of creation, the totality of the world, and try to unite around the sacred table, it's like round table, the spirit of the world. This comes directly from the Druidic culture and the beautiful Celtic tradition. This culture comes to us through Christianism, and is the very basis of tradition that the Christmas tradition, or the esoteric orders tradition, or the monastery culture have brought to us. Okay? Well, this culture was verbally transmitted through ancient epic poems and ancient songs called lays. That's why during the Middle Ages there was a lot of money to grant the scripture efforts to try to write all these ancient songs and to keep the knowledge of the Druids. That's where we hold all this Gaelic literature of the Arthur King on his knights, all these sacred intentions to restore balance in the world through love. There's an ancient Aryan a white tradition consistent in trying to forge warriors through love, like in the ancient Hindu Kshatriya culture, one of the hierarchies of the Hindu tradition that hold the warrior estimate, like in that tradition. When the ancient Greeks met the Celts, they were astonished because they saw that their sophisticated spirituality was so similar to theirs. And the Celts transmitted orally or verbally their tradition, and the Greeks has all this written literature, and they hold all these similarities that came to Greece through Hermetism, through the golden chain of the antiquity. So the Celts did their best and achieved to hold the true legacy of the very beginning of our cycle, the very beginning of the Aries Age. Very important. This spirituality is the one from which our current human rights tradition really comes. It's true that the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, all these happening before the Christianity, thought that the humanity was sacred, but they only thought, Greeks and Romans thought that humanity was sacred because the humans could be sublime if they persevere. But this is not the Celtic tradition. The Celtic tradition thought that human itself was a theophany. It expressed the totality, the entire universe in its complete human form, where the heaven and hell were deeply rooted and combined through our very human nature. And the sacred feminine, the sacred material world, could be used as a sacred temple to summon the spirit, as in a sacred oven and a sacred alchemy spell. This is so important because the Celts are the inhabitants of the west of the world. The west of the world, called Finisterre, the end of the world, has always been compared to a chalice, like the Holy Grail. It's the sacred cup, like Cornwall, from Cornwallis name comes, Cornwall, or Normandy, the west of France, and Galicia in Spain. Galicia sounds like chalice. All these lands, as Wales, all the sacred spots where the Celts lived, try to be a symbol of the sacred chalice, of the sacred obscurity of the world, like that forest that's on the periphery of the sacred tree. And all their efforts, all the Druidic efforts, tried to summon, to know the way to summon the spirit of the center in our very lives, in every moment, in every action, as a warrior, as a compassionate or affectionate warrior, or as a brave mother, or as a magician, as a druid, holding all the wisdom of the archetypes. This is very important because this idea of chivalry, of being invited to the sacred dinner, the holy Last Supper with a round table that Christianity have imagined, comes from this Celtic interpretation. All these convictions come from the Celts, and it's so important for American and for Europeans to understand this, because a lot of festivities and a lot of very culture comes from this worship to the sacred tree, from this central worship as Christmas, this time of love, when all the family tries to reunite its clan around this very tree, and to try to know what their ancestors wanted them to be, as a moral principle, as an idea to hold the bridge between our very moment and the sacred past, I don't know if you have had seen this Viking movie, a very beautiful Viking movie called the 13th Warrior. Well, when these Vikings, Celts in nature, before they go to battle, they had a sacred prayer. Sacred prayer. They prayed something like, "Here I see my father and my mother. Here I see my ancestors from to the very beginning of my dynasty roots." They try to summon all the ancestors on all this sacred chord, this sacred chain that relate to us, to their intentions, their true sacred nature. That's what that Celtic culture was all about. Well, I won't extend any more today. We will talk about this matter later. I'm deeply thankful for your time. Please press the like button if you like it, and try to subscribe. There are coming very interesting videos, I can assure you. Please have a Merry Christmas. Be safe. Try to enjoy, and you have all my love, Super Sapiens. Be all right. Thanks a lot.